Everyone's favorite race car, Lightning McQueen, is put to the ultimate test when a new race rival that goes by the name of Jackson Storm emerges. Is Lightning fast enough to beat him? Or is he too old and it's time for him to give up? This is my review of Cars 3.
You'll never be as fast as Storm, but you can be smarter than him.
So when I saw the first Cars movie, I was like, yeah, that was good. I like it. Believe it or not, I loved Mater. You know, I get a lot of people don't like Mater because they find him a bit annoying, you know. So Cars 2 felt like the Mater show, you know. It felt like an hour long of Mater's tall tales, you know. And, you know, I didn't have a problem with Cars 2. It was, you know, it wasn't anything special. You know, it wasn't the Godfather, or, you know, or it's a Cars movie. You know, I don't know why I just compared it to the Godfather, but I'm just, I liked Cars 2. Okay, I'm just saying that not a lot of people like it. A lot of people say it was the worst sequel ever. You know, so, you know, I see its flaws. I know where people are coming from, but I enjoyed Cars 2. I loved Michael Caine as Finn McMissile, and I thought Holly Shiftwell was a good character, and I was kind of, come on, let's face it. A lot of us who did like Cars 2 wanted to see Mater, you know, tow her to town. So Cars 3. Now when I saw the first trailer for it, I was like, wow, Pixar, you're making some pretty big decisions. You really want to kill your the kid's favorite race car? Okay, let's face it, this Pixar, they're not going to kill anyone, but I mean more the lines, they're going to get rid of him, you know. So what I thought was going to happen in Cars 3 is, alright, so do you remember in Cars 1 when Doc is explaining to Lightning,
they quit on me. When I finally got put together, I went back expecting a big welcome. You know what they said? Your history. Move right on to the next bookie standing in line.
and so basically I thought that was going to be kind of like the premise for Cars 3, which in a sense it does. Now, I will get into this in spoilers a little bit later, and I'll give you a warning, so to those people who haven't seen Cars 3, or like, you know, okay, thanks for the heads up, but let's face it, my channel really isn't that famous, so who the hell is going to be watching this review? Okay, so yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. So I thought Lightning was going to get in a big crash, and he was going to go back to Rusty's, and they were going to be like, kid, you're done. We can't afford another incident like that. You're done. It's your history. You know, you can't race anymore. And so I thought it was going to be this path to redemption, basically. So he was going to go, you know, under people, under the radar, train, get back in there and kick Dickhead, aka Jackson Storm's ass.
Mountain Dew is the greatest drink ever. Mountain Dew is the greatest drink.
Sort of it. It sort of did. Well, it didn't go down the way I wanted it to, basically. Okay, so I will say this. Okay, I love Cars 3. It was a good movie. It wasn't what I wanted it to be, but for the most part, it was a good movie. I had fun with it. I took my little brother to go see it. He loved it, and of course he's gonna love it because it's Cars 3. And even okay, so when Lightning does crash, this isn't spoilers because we all know that if you've seen the teaser or at least one trailer, everyone knows that he does crash. Now, when my little brother saw him crash, because he loves the Cars series, I looked over to him and he's just has his eyes covered. He's horrified from it, you know? Okay, I will say this about Cars 3. It tingled my heartstrings. It wasn't executed the way I wanted it to be executed, but I still enjoyed the hell out of it. I loved what they did, and it had a nice, proper send-off to the series. If this is the last one, they could make another one, because they do leave it off to where another one can be made. Now, it was funny, made me laugh a good couple of times. I do wish, which I understand because of Cars 2, I do wish there was more Mater. There wasn't. And even his girlfriend Sally, Lightning's girlfriend Sally, of course she wasn't in it like she was in Cars 2, but she was in it for the beginning part, and then he takes off to go and, train with Cruz Ramirez, and then she's not seen until, like, the final race of the movie. So, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I hate Cars 3. I love it. I've been saying it for the past couple minutes now. It was good. Kids are gonna love it. Some might not because of what happens in the movie. I'm gonna give Cars 3, let's see, I don't really have a ranking here. Let's see here. I'm just kind of improvising this real quick. I'll give it three Logan Claws out of 3 because it was a good movie. And I guess that will be my ranking. I guess it'll be 3 Logan Claws, X-24 if it was decent, and we'll give the old, we'll call this, well, let's see, X-24. I don't like X-24 because we all know what he did. So we'll give it the X-24 middle finger if it's bad. Alright, that will be my ranking system for further on movie reviews. Okay, I'm gonna get into the spoilers part. So, all in all, yes, 3 Wolverine Claws out of 3. I love the film, and take your kids to go see it. Take everyone to go see it. It's a good movie. Some might not like it because how it's executed or the way it ends. And yeah, so I can't really go on with my review until I get into the little spoiler aspect. So I'm gonna get to that in a minute. So I'm gonna give you a quick second to leave or click away. Let's face it, my channel isn't the hottest channel. It's not I'm not Stuckman or John's. I'm lower level here, so no one's really gonna see this review. This is my actual first movie review on my channel, and that's gonna go up. So give you a few minutes. So Cars 3 starts off Lightning McQueen doing his usual, the first quote that he does in the movie, where he's all like,
Here we go. Focus. Speed. I am speed. 1 winner. 42 losers. I eat losers for breakfast.
He does that, and then there's a little different to it. He's like, is that what I really used to say? And, of course, everyone's favorite, Mater says, yeah, buddy, it's what you say, And so, he's like, he needs to be, he needs to focus, be quiet, and then Mater's like, hey, everybody, my best friend Lightning McQueen, he should be quiet. And then, boom, we got Cars 3. He gets out the car, races, does it's a racing montage of, he's still doing it, and I love that. I actually like that. That was one of my favorite parts of the movie, is, it plays some Joyce music, you see Lightning, and he's doing his racing thing, because, in Cars 2, you didn't see that. You didn't see him on the classic track, it was more about him, all around the world, the Grand Prix circuit, So, yeah, I love the intro of the Cars 3. It was phenomenal. And so, from there on, okay, so it does a few more montages. Alright, there's this, there's a Dinoco racer. He's, since the King gave his last race in the first one, he's, and so, basically, alright, so, it does a montage, and then it's like, McQueen looks like he's about to win, and then out of nowhere, that's when Dickhead arrives. A.K.A. Jackson Dickhead Storm. Now, Jackson Storm just guns right by McQueen. McQueen's just like, who the hell's this? And they're like, that's Jackson Storm, your replacement. Now, they don't really say that, but they're like, Jackson Storm, he's a new rookie. And so, he meets him, he's like, hey, Lightning, and then he says the quote that he says, the dickhead quote. He's like, it's finally glad for me to beat you. You know, such a dickhead. So, okay, so then it comes to, he's racing him. And they're racing, and he's doing his thing, and then, Lightning, he makes his face, which we've never seen him make before, and when I saw it, I was like, oh shit, because I knew what that meant. Now, I got the vibes of him just like, dude, let's face it, you're old. These are new gen cars, dude. How the hell are you gonna do this? And so he's just like, so he's in mid-drive, and he's just like, and the cars just start past him, and then he's just like, they're like, that's when they say, you know what they said in the trailer, where he's fading. McQueen is fading fast. And then he's just like, nah, I'm still Lightning McQueen. Fuck that. I'm still Lightning McQueen. And he's just like, but he's an older car, so obviously he's not fast enough to keep up with them, and he just, and then just crashes. All the kids were like, even I was like, I knew it was gonna happen, but the way it was done, I was just like, oh, a lot of kids are about to cry right now. And I look over, like, at the scene where, you know, this is for people who've seen it, you know, the scene where he's like told out, and like all the paramedics are rushing in. My little brother, he was just like, and I was just like, oh god, and it was dark. I like, that's another part that I loved about the movie, is the crash. The whole crash scene was, I love that part. And then it cuts to 4 months later, time jump, and he's gray, you know, obviously, because he got crashed and he had to get fixed up. And he's looking at Doc's old racing days, and Doc was probably one of the most badass racers in history in the Cars universe, obviously. And so, you know, Sally comes in and she's like, hey, are you gonna continue? And he has a little doubt, but he's like, I decide when I'm done. And so he gets a paint job, you know, he goes through his Rusty's people, and he's like, alright, I'm ready, let's do this, let's take down Jackson Storm. And then they're like, okay, we'll come to the new racing headquarters. And they're like, you got new racing headquarters? Well, okay. So it was a little montage with Mac, you know, driving through multiple areas, various areas, and then cuts to the racing headquarters. And then these two drop the biggest drop of like, what? On Lightning. They're like, hey buddy, guess what? We sold Rusty's. And he's like, what? I'm gonna do my own Wilson impersonation right now. What? Why? You sold it, but why? I'm like, kid, look, we're not rich. Look at us. We're two rusty rust buckets, you know? This guy, Sterling, voiced by Nathan Fillion, which he was alright until he was a dickhead and started being a dick to Cruz. Look at this guy with a dickhead. And so, you know, okay, so he's at the training place. He gets they do a sheet and they heat it, and he's just like, he's got this new look. And so he meets Cruz, and Cruz, I like Cruz for the most part. This is where I start getting iffy about the movie. So she trains him, she does this little dance, she's like, now make that sandwich, get the lunch, she's trying to, you know, motivate him. You know, she's training all these other cars, like, there's one that's like, you know, you're a fluffy cloud, you're a cloud, and the other one's like, I guess he has a fear of flies or something, or he's just not afraid of, like, I guess he's afraid of flies, or I don't know, because she does, you know, bugs all over him. He's like, hey, I kept my eyes open, actually, or I didn't even flinch, or something. And then there's another one who's misses his hometown, and it's a little Easter egg too. She turns it on, and it shows a little area, and it's the thing from Coco. If you don't know, it's going to be the next Pixar film that they're making, which I'm actually excited for that one. So she's training him, and she's putting him down. She's really putting him down. She's supposed to be motivational, but she's putting him down, and I get that. That's what she actually says, like, hey, you know, use that to, you know, use that rage and influence to get Storm. you know. So, you know, he's not digging it though. He doesn't like this new method that they're doing, and all he wants to do is try out the new racing simulator. Now, I was all like, no, I don't like that they're going with the whole technology aspect, but that's how things are right now. We're in 2017, so things are gonna get a little nifty. Now, all he wanted to do was try out the racing simulator because he wants to beat Jackson Storm, aka Dickhead. So he gets on it, and Storm's actually in the simulation, and he doesn't know what he's doing, and he crashes in, and then Sterling talks to him. He's like, "Look, Lightning, I'm not putting you out there." And he's like, "What? Why? I'm Lightning McQueen." And he's like, so he goes on, he shows him Mr. McLean and the Lightning McGrill, all this brand crap, and he's like, "Mr. Sterling, what is this about? Your legacy." And he's like, "Every time you crash, you damage yourself." And so basically he's telling him that, what I want you to do is I just want you, he's basically telling him to sell out, guys. He's like, you know, you can become rich beyond your wildest dreams. It's like, sorry about that. So he's like, "I decide when I'm done." And so he makes a deal with him. He's like, "Look, let me race one more time, show you that I can do this. Now, if I lose, yes, I'll become a sellout." He doesn't really say that. He's like, "I'll sell as many mud flaps as you want me to." And he's like, "But if I win, I decide when I'm done." And so Sterling's like, "Deal." So he starts training. Cruz Ramirez, okay, so she wants to do the whole technology thing. He's like, "Look, no, we got to do real racing." And that's what he says to Sterling when he's telling him to give up. He's like, "It's not about the fame, it's about racing, real racing." And so they go out to this beach, and, you know, he starts racing, and she brings out this, like, technical treadmill that she thinks that was gonna be the case, but he's like, "No, we're gonna do real driving. It's about getting dirty, you know, because that's what real racing is to him." And so they race a couple times, and she keeps getting out of range because she has this thing called Hamilton, which keeps track of her speed, which if she's in range, she can't keep track of lightning speed, but she keeps spinning out, and the dirt eats her, because she says that in the trailer, and, you know, because, you know, she's not used to all this, because she's used to simulations. And so Lightning, he teaches her about racing, and, you know, then it cuts to, then he goes to a derby, and the derby was one of my favorite parts of the movie. There's this big old school bus named Miss Friddle, which I thought was Miss Frizzle, if you ask me. But there's even a taxi. You guys ever seen Taxi with Robert De Niro? There's even a reference there. He's like, "Hey, get the out of my way. I'm at something." And there's also a Pizza Planet truck in there if you keep a close eye out. So there's also a couple Easter eggs, like in Sterling's office door, A1113. You know, everyone knows that was a classroom that most of the animators graduated in. You know, do your research. So go to Derby. Gets in a couple things. He has to basically, doesn't go the way he wants it to. He covers himself in mud, disguises himself, because he's like, you know, no paparazzi. You know, if they see, they're gonna be like, "Oh." And so a water tank falls over, sprays him, or it's a water truck, sprays him, and then it's revealed that it's Lightning McQueen. Everyone flips their crap, and then cuts back to Chick Hicks. Oh, by the way, Chick Hicks is in this movie. It's not voiced by Michael Keaton. Come on, Michael. Probably it would have taken you like a day or two to voice record. Come on. So he's basically ripping on Lightning for that, and, you know, he has this assistant that's all about numbers, and she's like, and they're like, so he gets mad at Cruz, basically saying that, you know, I had to watch you, and she's like, you think I wanted to be a trainer, Lightning? Go ahead, ask me. You think I wanted to be a trainer? No, she wanted to be a racer, but she didn't get her chance. So that's foreshadowing. So then it goes to where he's like, well, he talks to Mater, and he's like, "Mater, I don't think I can do this anymore. Look, we gotta find something to do after I come back, because I don't think I can do this anymore." And so then he goes and meets Doc's old mentor, Smokey, and Smokey teaches him a thing or two. And this is where I really like the movie. It's where it shows, you know, you see him, and, you know, there's a really touching moment in there where it turns out that Doc sent Smokey all these letters saying that the best thing that happened to Doc was Lightning McQueen, being able to train him and just being able to do all this, feeling like he had purpose again, you know? And so that for me was probably my favorite part of the entire movie. Now, let's go ahead and get to the finale. So basically trains basically until the last day, and he thinks he finally has it. He thinks he's about to beat Cruz because they're using Cruz as Storm for motivation for the race, and then he gets that look that he did back in the first part of the movie. He's just like, because she passes him, and he's just like, dude, I'm old. I can't do this. So, getting a lot of Logan vibes here. So Mac's like, hey boss, we gotta go. And Lightning's like, yeah, thanks for the training, everyone. We gotta get going. Cuts to the big race. Everyone's insulting Lightning, like, oh, dude, I'd be, let's look. Point is, I wouldn't lose any sleep knowing that Lightning was gonna be here or not. Basically, a bunch of new gens don't have to be dickheads, Come on. So here we are, the final race to prove is Jackson Storm gonna be beat by the famous Lightning McQueen? Is Lightning McQueen gonna take back his name as the fastest car alive? No, and this is where the movie loses me. Alright? Pixar, I get it, you're trying to do a life lesson here. So what happens is he's racing, and he's like, Sterling sends Cruz to go back and do her job because she's a trainer, and that keeps sticking with Lightning. He's like, no, she's not a trainer, she's a racer. She didn't get her chance. So he pulls over, or next pit stop, he's like, no, what are you doing? Don't pit it on me, give it to her. And so he has Ramon whip up a quick paint job, and she's the new 95. Now apparently the rules are, it doesn't matter who's racing, it just matters on the number. So they give him a quick 95, and she goes out there and races, and he becomes her pit chief like Doc did in Cars 1. And I did like that. I did like it, but I was just hoping that it would be the way I wanted to. But I was okay with this. I was okay with it. I wasn't like, you maniacs! At first I was, because I wasn't all 100% on it, but I got around to it. So she's racing, and then Storm. Ooh, this is why I hate Jackson Storm. He is a dickhead because he's in the lead, right? And she sees that she's like near, she's closing in. The dude's telling her, she's closing in on you, man. And he's just like, his face goes from like and then he starts talking mess to Cruz. He's like, you never be one of us, kid. And she's like, and he's like, you know what he just did? Lightning's like, you know what he just did there? She's like, he got in my head. He's like, no, he's afraid. He never did that to Lightning because he was actually afraid. See, he didn't see Lightning as a threat because Lightning is old. And so he saw her as a threat, and so he tried to get in her head. And so she just, she gets that motivation, she's racing, and he rams her into the wall. Now, earlier, there was a scene where Doc was racing the new Hot Shot, and he rams Doc into the wall, or he tries ramming Doc into the wall, but Smokey says, but he never let Doc get into the wall unless he wanted to. Doc never let himself get into the wall unless he wanted to, and he does this flip, and I was like, oh, God, Lightning's gonna do that, for the final race, because, I thought Lightning was going to get a shot at redemption, and somewhat he does for the most part. So, she's like, she does the flip, and everyone's like, whoa, and that's the final streak, and she wins, and like, Sterling's like, she's like, she basically tells Sterling that, hey, I quit, I'm no longer your trainer. And so Tex, the guy from the first one, he's like, how'd you like to be part of Dynaco? And she was like, yeah, I'll do that. And Lightning was like, Sterling's like, well, Lightning, you ready to start selling stuff? And he's like, and so Tex talks to him, he's like, let's talk, billionaire to billionaire. Then it cuts, and then you see that Cruz has the new Dynaco look, and she actually looks good, honestly. And then you see that Lightning comes in, he's blue, he's got the Dynaco look, and he has on his side, and he has the same color as Doc, and he has on his side the fabulous Lightning McQueen, just as the fabulous Hudson Hornet. And so basically they say, oh, well, Tex bought out Rusty, so they don't have to worry about that. And so they get up, her and Lightning get up for one race. Luigi does the thing, they go, starts playing this music, and then that's where it ends. It shows a picture of Lightning and Cruz, and then Lightning and Doc. And honestly, I thought I had to think about it for a while. At first I was like, what are you doing? And you know what? I'm okay with it. I like how they do it. And they did something special, and it really touched my heart. And yeah, Cars 3 was good. Yeah, guys, Cars 3 was good. And like I said, I'm gonna give Cars 3 a 3 Wolverine claws out of 3. I'm Adam Ramirez, and this is my first ever movie review on my channel. I hope you enjoyed it. Next movie review, I'll do a movie review. I'm gonna start doing movie reviews now, just because I need more content on my channel. Oh, that's so sad. Okay, this video just got awkward. Have a good night. Please like and subscribe if you did like this review, which you probably didn't. I went on for too long, and yeah, that's it. You know what? I'm gonna do it. Ka-chow, ka-chow, ka-chow. Sorry, that was really cringy. Okay, this is the end of the review.
Oh yeah, lightning's ready.